How would you rate your confidence level? Are you able to walk into a room full of strangers with your head held high, with your shoulders back, and just kind of ooze an air of confidence to where people just want to gravitate around you, strike up a conversation? Are you able to look fear in the eye and say, no big deal, I got you? What if someone handed you a speech and asked you to deliver the speech in front of 100 people? Would you be able to take a step back, take a breath, and then go do it? What's up, guys? My name is Joshua Abel, and I am the host of the Men's Empowerment Network podcast. And today we are going to talk about 5 truths about establishing unshakable confidence. Not only that, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to share with you 5 quick tips to immediately boost your confidence so that you can go into an interview, so that you can ask that person on a date, so you can do anything with just a quick boost of confidence. Now, my friends, I have not always been a confident guy. I used to be meek. I used to be a wallflower. I used to hope no one would come up and talk to me because I just lacked any sort of confidence in myself, in my decisions, in anything that I did. You know, I was not able to walk into a room and have my head held up high and my shoulders back and go up and introduce myself to a stranger. That was unthinkable to me. And, all of the decisions that I would have to make, choices I would have to make, situations I would be approached with, I would constantly be second guessing myself. And this was a common trend throughout most of my life. I was bullied in school because I didn't have the confidence in myself to actually stand up for myself. And I allowed employers and companies to take complete advantage of me. If they asked me to work extra shifts, I would jump in and do it. Even if I didn't want to, if they asked me to stay late, I would be like, okay, Mr. Boss, I'll do that for you, because I lacked the confidence to set boundaries and really stand up for what I wanted to do and what I wanted my life to look like. When it came to social situations, I really couldn't take a side on anything. Anytime someone would come up to me and have a conversation about their perspective on a particular issue or anything like that, I would immediately side with them because I lacked the confidence to voice maybe an alternate opinion. And I always felt like I was out of control, like I wasn't in control of my own life because I was constantly being swayed this way and that way based on what other people thought my life should look like or what they wanted within their life and how I might be able to help them. And so I really lacked confidence in setting direction in my life, really lacked confidence in standing up for myself, lacked confidence in, formulating a belief system, a solid belief system that I would adhere to and stick to, lacked confidence in myself to set boundaries with other people and with myself. And so I was very malleable. I could be controlled. I could be manipulated. I could be, kind of molded into what society wanted me to be, what my parents wanted me to be, what my friends wanted me to be, what employers wanted me to be. And it was just a very meek and meager way to live. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy because I didn't feel like I had the confidence. I didn't have the self appreciation to actually build and follow my own path. Well, that all changed, my friends. That changed completely. And it started with a decision that I made about 10 years ago. I got to the point where I was completely lost in life. I had absolutely no direction about who I wanted to be as a man, what I wanted to do, or anything. And so I made this decision that from this point moving on, I'm going to work on building the confidence I need to make decisions for myself and to build a path for myself and to follow that path for myself. And it certainly has not been an easy journey. Those old habits of, wanting people to like me. And so conforming to, their ideologies and their expectations and things like that, I would, quite frequently in the beginning fall back into. And it's because it was comfortable. It was, a safe place to be. I would get what I perceived as respect from those people. And so I had to always take a step back and ask myself, is this actually something that I want to do? Is this something that I actually believe in? Is this something that interests me? Is this something that would move my life forward? And, it was always a system of trial and error. I would have to take 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. And, reading books on confidence, taking courses on confidence, and, implementing the things that I learned. And this 10-year journey has really established me as a man, me as someone who is confident, me who as someone who takes pride in the journey that they're currently on. And right now, I can honestly say, if I had to give a speech tomorrow in front of 100 strangers, or sometimes even more terrifying, 100 people you actually know, I feel like I can do that. I feel like I am able to make my own decisions. I feel like I can be confident in those decisions that I make. And I feel like I am confident in the path that I am currently on. And over the course of this past decade, I was actually kind of thinking about it just the other day about what it meant to be confident and what it really, really took to get to a place in my life where I could feel like I was a confident man. And I kind of put together 5 principles that, really harness the ability to not really achieve superficial confidence, that confidence that is very fleeting. You get a little boost of confidence and then all of a sudden it's gone. But real deep rooted confidence, unshakable confidence, and the knowing that I am on the right path, the knowing that I know who I am as a man, the knowing that confidence that is really, really a fire in my soul and in my belly. And these 5 truths, I make sure to practice every single day because, again, those old habits of being meek and meager and kind of just rolling with the tide are really easy to fall back into. And, so I'm going to share with you these 5 truths about confidence. And the first one is that confidence, I've learned, is a skill, not a personality trait, which is great news. A lot of people think that confident people are born with it. It's just a gene that they're born with. When they're born, their parents who may also be confident, just kind of passed it along the bloodline. And these people grow up, they're always confident, they're always stoic, they're always sure of themselves, and they just move forward with their shoulders back and their head held high, and they charge through any fear. And it seems like nothing can really shake their world. These guys are born with it. I wasn't. I can tell you right now, I remember back when I was, young and just so insecure and felt so insignificant. I know I was not born with confidence. And so to me, that proves that, like riding a bike or playing any sort of sport, it is a skill that can be developed. And so, what I've learned in this process in developing this skill of confidence is that it starts out with small little implementations. It's really difficult to just jump into an air of confidence if you're having a little conflict with maybe your boss at work and you've never really stood up for yourself, or you've never set a clear boundary about what you are willing and not willing to do within your job. And it's really difficult to just jump in there and be like, no, I'm sorry, not going to do that. That's not my job, blah, blah, blah. It's really difficult for someone who is used to, biting by someone else's demands or opinions to just kind of jump into that role. And so it starts out very, very small. And so 10 years ago, I was working as a financial planner for a company. And, I had a boss who came to me and they wanted me to start going door to door trying to drum up business. Well, I mean, that's not really in my wheelhouse. That's not something that I feel comfortable doing. And so I had to take a small step forward in that situation and set a boundary. And instead of just coming out and saying, no, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. That'll never work. I'm not going to get doors slammed in my face. I instead proposed to compromise for something that I did feel comfortable with and that I was actually kind of good at. And that was at the time social media marketing. I had a business as a digital in digital marketing, and so it was kind of an area of expertise for me. And so, as an alternative to going door to door to sell different financial services, I suggested that I would be able to reach more people in a shorter period of time and utilize a skill in order to drum up more business. He was applicable to this because it suited his needs, and I was applicable to it because I had set a clear boundary. I had done it with confidence because it was a skill that I had knowledge in, and so it was kind of a win-win. And so rather than just saying, all right, I'll go start knocking on doors, to which I would have failed miserably and knew that I would fail miserably because as someone who lacked confidence, the last thing that I should have been doing was going up to strangers' doors and knocking on it, asking them for money to invest. It made absolutely no sense. And so understanding that, taking that small step and actually having a positive outcome from it slowly started sparking that fire of confidence. Interesting. Okay. So I was confident enough to set a boundary, offer a counteroffer, and have it accepted, oof, that little bit of confidence kind of sparked up in my belly. And so the next time, my boss came to me and wanted me to do something that I wasn't either comfortable with or didn't want to do, I had the confidence to, again, set another boundary and then abide by it. It's interesting how that happens. And the more that we're able to do that, the more that we're able to, really focus in on building that skill, the easier it becomes. Just like throwing a football. The first time you do it, probably not very good at it. It probably just shoots right down into the ground and it's probably all wobbly. You don't have that nice spiral yet. It takes practice. I was on the air rifle team when I was very young. And, I became one of the top competitors in the country because I practiced. I developed that skill. I took third place in nationals. For 2 years in a row, I was the top air gun rifleman in the state of Missouri. I was claiming all the prizes because every single night I was down in my basement practicing. Now I'm able to, walk up to a stranger, introduce myself, strike up a conversation. I'm able to become vulnerable with someone because I'm confident in myself. When I walk into my job now, I walk in with my head held high, with my shoulders back, knowing that I can do this job. And if for some reason they want to fire me, go ahead. I mean, I have that kind of confidence in knowing that my skill set is established and that I'll get another job. No big deal. Might be hard for a second, but I have the confidence that I'll get through that too. Because I've worked on it, because I've built on it, because I've developed that skill. And you can too. The second truth that I've learned in this journey of building up confidence is that true confidence comes from living authentically. Now, that is a word that is kind of tossed around here and there. Oh, I'm living my most authentic life. I live authentically. I am the most authentic person in the world. But what does it really mean to live authentically? Well, I mean, it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. Every one of us has a different personality inside of us, a different person inside of us, the true, honest person that we are. Every single one of us is unique in that fashion. We think differently. We have different perspectives. We have different belief systems. We have different ideologies. We have different theologies. We have different, just ways of thinking and being and acting. And, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see that, I'm an animated guy. I've got a great big smile and, I'm using my hands and all that. And when I go into a conversation and I stick my hands in my pockets and I try to be very, standoffish and stone faced and talking like, a real man, that's not me. And I can feel it's not me. I can feel because I know that's not who I am as a person. I'm high energy. I like to move around and kind of, I don't know, I'm like a Jack Russell Terrier. I'm like all over the place. But it's authentic. And, honestly connecting with other people has allowed me to understand who I am authentically as a person. And, there are, unfortunately, so many guys go through life without knowing who they really are. as a person. I was there. I was there about a decade ago, you know, again, just kind of drifting in and out of life, just kind of going with the tide, swaying from one way to another. And, when I was in high school, I really prided myself on being a chameleon. I would bounce from social group to social group to social group to social group. And each social group, I would change my personality, just a little bit so that I could fit in a little better. I would change my ideologies. I would change my thought processes. I would change my values. And just so I could fit in to that group of the time. And, I thought I had a lot of friends. After high school, I didn't talk to any of them, hardly any of them, maybe two. And, I was not living authentically. And I knew it. I knew I wasn't. I could feel it down inside. I'm like, this isn't who I want to be. This isn't who I am. Understanding who you are as a man is essential in building up unshakable confidence. Understanding your value systems. What do you stand for? What are your beliefs? Are you an honest man? Are you someone who will climb over the backs of anyone to get to the top? No judgment. But if you know that about yourself, at least you're being authentic. If you're going to do it connivingly behind other people's back and then put on, a happy face and give to charity, it's not really authentic. So living your most authentic life, being honest to yourself, being honest to others, being truthful, being vulnerable, allowing others to get to know you, and then connecting by taking an interest in other people. When you connect with other people, you form a common bond. And that, my friends, builds real confidence. Truth number 3. Now, for my people-pleasing guys out there, this one's going to hurt. This one's going to be difficult. If you're used to bending over backwards to help other people out so they like you more, or, whatever the case may be, if you just love fixing other people's problems, this one's going to be difficult. And truth number 3 is you have to accept the fact that you are going to disappoint other people. And you have to be okay with that. You're going to disappoint people when you start living authentically, when you start living within your value system, and when you start building that unshakable confidence. This was hard for me. This was really, really difficult because I wanted everyone to like me. I wanted people to like me. And so I was constantly, helping them out with this or helping them out with this situation or offering advice here, offering free services there because I wanted them to like me. But that wasn't authentic to myself. I did so many, different things that I didn't really want to do. Not because I'm an asshole, but because it didn't interest me. It didn't really fit my value system. It didn't really, appease or promote the direction I wanted my life to go into. But to appease them, I went along suit. And it left me feeling empty even after I helped them. Because it wasn't in my best interest. It wasn't in alignment with who I wanted to be or who I was. And so when you start living authentically and when you start this journey of building confidence, you're going to disappoint people along the way. And it's okay. It's okay to disappoint people when you are living your most authentic life and you are on that journey of building confidence. And you know what? It's okay for them to be disappointed. It's a natural feeling. And so you can allow them to have that feeling of disappointment and still maintain your confidence. In fact, just giving them that space to, process the feelings that they're going to have and you remaining distant and steadfast in your beliefs, then you ultimately start even fanning that flame of confidence a little more. So recently, I told you guys that I accepted a position with a new company. And, it's been a month now since I've been there. And, things are going great. I'm confident in my job. I am secure in the way things are heading. The problem is I have to drive an hour and a half each way. And so I made the decision that within a couple of months, I'll be moving out of this place and I'll be moving into somewhere closer because I really don't want to spend 15 hours a week in the car. To me, my time is more valuable than that. And that is a decision and that is a boundary that I have set for myself. Well, I had to confront my roommate about this. And I had to tell her that, within 3 months' time, we're going to be parting ways. And she did not handle it well. She was very much disappointed because she had established this as her safe place, as a place that she could come home to and feel secure and feel safe. And ultimately, I am rocking that boat. Now, I had a choice. I could either conform to her disappointment and say, "Oh, you know what? You're right. I I really shouldn't shake up your world right now. I'll stay a little longer. I'll keep driving an hour and a half each way so that you can be safe and secure." And as a man, we want other people to feel safe and secure. We want that for other people. We want to provide that for other people. And not to be sexist, but especially women. However, that is not in alignment with my current projection path. That's not in alignment with my value system right now. It's not in alignment with the way my journey is heading. And so I had to sit back, allow her to have her disappointing feelings, and remain confident, remain steadfast, and remind her that, this is happening. This is the way things are going to happen. We're going to be parting ways, and it would be up to her how to handle that. And that may come off cold. It may come off as distant. It may come off as, frankly, being an asshole. But sometimes we have to disappoint others in order to fulfill our own destiny. When I was younger in high school, I went out to, I was in theater. Theater was a big part of my life. That's where my safe place was, that's where I felt alive. I felt invigorated. And so I made the decision that I was going to pursue that acting. And I was going to move out to Los Angeles. When I confronted my dad about this, he was ultimately disappointed. And throughout my life, he had, thrown out different career paths for me. He suggested I go in the army. He suggested I go in the priesthood. He suggested I become a coroner. And, granted, he wanted security in my life. He wanted stability in my life. But that just wasn't me. That wasn't me. For me to be in a very strict, regimented routine that never changes, I can't I don't do well with that. I need variety. I need excitement. I need something spontaneous. And those regimented in the box career fields just didn't sit well with me. And so when I told him, I wanted to be an actor, I was going to move to Los Angeles and try and pursue it, he was very disappointed. He was very disappointed. And I'll never forget what he said. He told me his response was that I would be a starving artist. And that hurt. That really hurt. Because for me, it told me that my dad didn't believe enough in me to root me on. But I had to stick to my values. I had to stick to what my gut, my heart was telling me the right way to go was. And I went. Another time was when I came out as being gay to my dad. Somehow I think I always have a way of disappointing my father. But when I built up the courage, and that was hard, it was very, very difficult. And I came out and I told him, that I was gay. Again, disappointment. I'm the only son. So disappointment. And his response to me, again, I'll never forget it, was, I will miss holding that grandchild in my arms. And that hurt. It hurt. But I had to hold space for him to be disappointed. And that disappointment lasted for a couple of years. I mean, every time I would go home to visit, it was he would make some sort of remark like, "Are you still gay?" Or he'd make little um, uh, uh, phrases like, "It's just a phase." So, I mean, that disappointment lasted quite a while, and I had to continue to allow him to sit in that. And now, geez, 20 years later or something, I think he's finally okay with it. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can still hold space for him and allow him to have those disappointed feelings and still maintain the confidence of being authentic. And that's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. When you have established that kind of confidence to live authentically, live within your truth, live within your values, despite what the closest people to you think or feel. That is a cool place to be. That is really knowing yourself. That is really understanding who you are as a man. That, my friend, is unshakable confidence. Now, you'll get, I kind of laugh at the people who kind of project unshakable confidence, but you can tell that deep down they don't really believe it themselves. And it's generally the people who will use the word, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. They say that and they project that. But when you actually dig down deep into how they're thinking, how they're feeling, if you look in their eyes, you can tell that they don't actually believe that. Like deep down, they don't actually believe that. And it's impossible to not give a fuck about anything or anyone. It's impossible. You can't do it. We're connected as humans. We care about what other people think. We care about what other people do. We care about situations. But if you're able to get to a point where you can allow someone to have their feelings, have their thoughts, and hold space for that, be compassionate, be empathetic, be sympathetic, and yet still maintain your posture and maintain your values and maintain your direction, that, my friend, is unshakable. You can't get rid of that. That's the place we need to get to, where we can still be kind, compassionate, sympathetic, empathetic, but we care about the right things. We give a fuck about the right things. And that's who we are as men. Truth number 4. Confidence is not the absence of fear. And while it may appear that, confident guys are fearless, that's actually not true. Public speaking is one of the biggest fears in the world. Very, very few people can do it effectively. But the ones who can are the ones who have worked on their confidence. And I guarantee every time that they are ready to step out on stage, they have to face that fear. The confidence comes not in the absence of fear, but in the ability to look at it square in the eye, take a deep breath, and do it anyway. And I know this because I've done public speaking. I know this because I can easily get out on stage and deliver a speech, perform a scene, sing a song, although not very well. I can do that. And it's not because I don't get butterflies in my stomach or my chest doesn't tighten or my shoulders don't crunch up because I'm so freaking scared. It's because even though I'm scared, I'm able to take a step back and rationalize the fear, and do it anyway. And this has to do with every single aspect of my life. Financial. I'm confident in the investments I make, not because I'm not afraid of what the economy might do, but because I'm able to overcome that fear. I'm able to face it head on and then make the decision anyway. I'm afraid of what people will think of when I go to the gym, and maybe I haven't gone in a week or so, and so I'm not able to lift as much weight as I was. Ugh. But I face that fear. I look at it head on, and I rationalize it, and I analyze it, and I understand where it sits within me, and then I do it anyway, because that is in my value system. That's who I want to be as a man. I want to be someone who is as healthy as he possibly can be, who looks as good as he possibly can be, who feels as good as he possibly can be. It's that, and the fear of relationships in relationships. I'm at a point, I've met someone, we're engaged, and we're getting ready to take the next step. I'm telling you, That fear of commitment is real. I'm going to be with one person for the rest of my life. We're going to live together in the same place at the same time. What? 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 Holy crap, no way. Yeah. Yeah. There's fear. There is certainly fear. But then I take a step back. I listen to my heart. I listen to my mind. Do I love this person? Does this person make me want to continuously improve? Is this someone who I can go on trips with? Is this someone who we can laugh together? Is this someone who I want to hold? Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's so weird saying that out loud. I I that fear of commitment, that fear of, am I worthy enough to be in a loving, committed relationship? Those are real fears. But I'm confident that we'll make it work. I'm confident that no matter what happens, we'll be able to get through it together. And that word together gives me even more confidence. It's funny how that works. And so, just because we have those fears, and I mean, guys, you know, this sociological idea of men shouldn't have fear is ridiculous. You know it because you experience it. I know it because I experience it. But every time that we're able to overcome those fears, to look it right in the eye, maybe punch it in the face, we get a little more confident. And that confidence builds within us. And then truth number 5, my friends, confident people surround themselves with other confident people. We are a communal species and we need other people. And when you associate yourself with other people who are confident, who understand who they are as men, who are solid in their value system, who move forward authentically, who speak in honest and truth and, follow their own path, and those who overcome their fears. When you surround yourself with other dudes like that, that flame inside of you, that flame of confidence, that inferno of confidence becomes unshakable. And that is a cool experience because the energy just kind of flows in between you. If someone is, kind of losing a little confidence, the confidence of the other guys kind of pushes its way into that dude and kind of rises him up. Confident people surround themselves with other confident people. All right, gents. So let's say, you're caught in a moment where you're just lacking that little bit of confidence. You just need a little boost to help push you over the hump. Maybe you got a big important job interview and you're sitting in the parking lot and your nerves are just kind of going crazy. What the hell can you do in order to get the confidence you need in order to push forward, overcome that fear, put your best foot forward, whether it be an interview, whether it be a date, whether it be just walking down the street? What are a couple of little tips that I can help you out with to just give you a quick boost of confidence? Well, one of the things that I have found that gives me instant confidence is having money. Now, I know it sounds superficial, and it is. It's totally surface level. It's very superficial, but I know the difference in my confidence level, at least momentarily, when I look at my bank account. When I look at my bank account and I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Other times when I look at my bank account, oh shit, damn it. Ugh, feeling a little weaker today. So, what can you do in regards to money that will give you an instant burst of confidence? Here's a quick tip, pro tip for you. Keep $100 bill in your wallet at all time. Don't spend it. The knowing that it is there and the knowing that you can spend it anytime you want gives you an instant shot of confidence. All you have to do is put your hand on your back pocket, touch your wallet, or in your front pocket, touch your wallet, or wherever you keep cash. Keep $100 bills in, $100 bill in. And if you need a quick shot of confidence, just touch that $100 bill. I promise you, it's an injection of confidence. Another thing that you can do to quickly give you a boost of confidence, dude, get your ass to the gym. I feel so incredibly confident walking out of that gym, knowing that I've thrown around some iron or I've, run a sprint on the elliptical machine or, I increase my weight, even if it's only by like 2.5 pounds. Get your ass into the gym. If you've got an interview, if you've got a date, if you've got, anything that requires a quick shot of confidence, go and do a quick chest workout. Go and do a quick bicep workout. Go work out some tries or abs or, just do a quick cardio sprint. Now I say the gym because that's where I like to go, but it could be, 20 push-ups in your living room, 20 crunches in your bedroom, a couple of squats. Go out for a quick sprint or before you have to head off. Instant confidence. And the science behind that is, when you do that physical activity, endorphins are released. Serotonin is released. And guess what? Those are the peppy chemicals. And they'll give you that instant boost of confidence. Another thing that I have found that will give you instant, quick confidence is taking a step back from the situation, taking a quick breath, and thinking about a similar situation. So I was on the job market for about 6 months before I landed this one. And, every time I would go into an interview, I would sit in my car in the parking lot, started just kind of working things over in my head. If they say this, then I'm going to say this. If they say this, I'm going to say this. And, what started to happen was I realized that I wasn't getting any second interviews. Nothing was moving forward because I went in with an energy of again falling back into that habit of just wanting to tell them what they wanted to hear. Well, here's the thing. When I changed that and I took a step back and I took a breath and I was sitting in the parking lot of a really important, what I thought was important job interview that would have moved me to a different state and offered me more money than I'd ever made. I went in with a different perspective. I thought about all of the times that I went into an interview and nailed it. because I was authentic. And that really changed my perspective. The times that I've gone into an interview and have been authentic, I get the job every single time. Nailed it. Done. Right there. And I'd lost that because, I had a job for several years. And so I'd fallen out of practice of that interview process. And so when I went in and I talked to what would become my boss, I acted like I didn't care. And that sounds really that's a little that's not exactly accurate. I went in like I cared, but not that much. Because I went in with the confidence of knowing if this one doesn't work out, another one will. And that has been the experience of my life. If something doesn't work out, something else does. And that's the knowledge I went in with. And I nailed it. Funny how that works out. So if you're able to take a step back and really focus on previous experiences that you've had and come out on top, boom, boom, instant confidence. Another thing that gives me instant confidence, just a real shot in the arm, is doing something that I excel at. So before you jump into something that you're not really sure of or you're kind of shaky on, do something that you are a craftsman at. For me, it's creative writing. For me, it's, posting a video. For me, it's, doing something creative, painting or, just something that I excel at, that I enjoy. And then move into the task that you're not quite sure of. You'll go into that task already with those happy, positive, confident hormones, chemicals released in your body, and you'll be able to push forward more easily and go through it with confidence. Even if you start to falter a little bit, fail a little bit, if the project or whatever the thing is starts to go south, you'll still have that little boost of confidence kind of circulating through your body. And the last pro tip I have for you, this is a doozy. This one will give you an instant burst of confidence. And it's going to be the most difficult out of these 5 quick pro tips. And it relates back to a truth that we had talked about earlier. And it's saying no. I know. Saying no. Yeah. Saying no gives you an instant shot of confidence. And here's the funny thing. You don't even have to say it to someone. Just speaking the word no draws a line in the sand. It sets an instant boundary for you and for others. And when you say no, you empower yourself because you have set a declaration that you have reached a line that you are not willing to cross, and you are not going to move any further. And so using the word no, when you really mean it, or in practice of a time that you will actually need it, will give you instant confidence. My friends, I hope you got value out of this. If you did, I would really appreciate, a review. Share it with your friends, share it with all of your guy friends. If you know someone who, is kind of meek, kind of meager, kind of, just it really doesn't take a stand on anything, doesn't really know who he is, share this episode with him. Help a guy out. This entire project, the Men's Empowerment Network, is to empower, motivate, and inspire men to create more authentic and, confident lives. So share this podcast, share the episode with someone that you know. Also, follow me on the socials. I'm a little hit or misser there. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I will be eventually getting better. It's just one of those things that I need to commit to and be consistent with. And that is honesty right there. It's something I'm not consistent with, and I'll get there. But I really enjoy uh being able to present this podcast with you. I really enjoy sharing my experience, sharing, the journey that I've gone on to become the person I am today, and, the man that I intend to be tomorrow. And so hit me up on the socials. If you do, it might take a little time for me to get back to you, but I will, I promise. And until next time, my friends, cheers.